Well, a warm welcome to everyone joining here. Thank you for being here. Get yourself ready with a notebook, a pencil, or a pen. Whatever you choose to write with is fine. This is math from the void. Math coming at you pretty much out of nowhere. And today we have a nice little handwritten problem by me. It's an SAT style problem. And no multiple choice responses here. I could give you several multiple choice options, but I'd rather you know how to do the solution method thoroughly and technically. So go ahead and give yourself about a minute and a half, maybe two if you need it. Make sure you're solving the question. You can try it out for yourself. Pause the video if you need some time. And then when you're ready, you can come back and join us to see how we did it here. All right, let's get started. So we have if, that means this is given. If 8x plus 8y is 18 and x squared minus y squared equals negative 3/8, we're asked to find the value of 2x minus 2y, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a minus. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're given some information, but I first want to point out that this here is a difference of squares, and that's going to be really useful, because if you remember what the difference of squares factors to, as soon as you remember what it factors to, I think it'll be really clear what you need to do immediately after that. So a difference of squares, this is going to turn into x minus y times x plus y. Okay? So that's really useful there. Very, very useful, because we see kind of an x plus y situation with the 8x plus 8y, and then we're asked for something that's kind of like the x minus y situation, 2x minus 2y. Right? So we know that this is going to be equals to negative 3/8, and that's because x squared minus y squared is equal to negative 3/8. But also what we can do, right, is we can multiply both sides of this equation. There are several ways to work this out. If you'd like, you can multiply both sides of the equation by 8. And what that does is cancels the fraction here, which is kind of convenient, but that wasn't really the goal. The goal was to get 8x plus 8y represented. And there we have it. So this is 8x plus 8y, which we can simply replace with 18. So we're given that x minus y times 18 is equal to negative 3, which of course means x minus y is equal to negative 3 over 18. This will undoubtedly be one of the answer choices on a multiple choice test. This is not the correct answer, because even though we did a good job, we found this missing x minus y. We need to use it to answer the question. We need to ask ourselves, what is 2x minus 2y? Well, that should be the same as 2 times x minus y, which is 2 times negative 1/6, or negative 2/6, which is negative 1/3. Okay, so a little tricky fraction work there. As I said, there are multiple ways to do it. I'll show you another way to do it, actually. So x squared minus y squared equals negative 3/8. We could just say that's equals to x minus y, x plus y, sure. And then we can divide both sides of the equation, right? If we divide both sides of the equation by x minus y, by x plus y, we divide both sides of the equation by x plus y. That cancels here, and we multiply by 1 over x plus y here. You'll see that this kind of magically turns into 8x plus 8y. And then if we want to multiply both sides by 2, we can also do that. So we have 2 times negative 3 over 18 equals 2x minus 2y. And the calculations are essentially the same. It's just a matter of how you visualize the solution there. So negative 3 over 9, which is just also negative 1/3. So depending on how you visualize that can determine how you want to attack this. But in either event, you want to create a system of equations. This is a system of nonlinear equations. You're not expected to know how to solve a bunch of different types of nonlinear systems. When you see squared minus squared, difference of squares is what's going to be the key here. And whenever you see nonlinear equations, likely with difference of squares or an exponential function, you're going to want to divide to simplify the equation. In most systems of equations with lines, we want to add or subtract the equations in order to cancel out a variable. But in this case, we were not trying to cancel out a variable. You could absolutely use substitution as a method if you wanted to. You could say something like x plus y equals 18 over 8. And then you can, of course, plug that in for your x plus y here. Or if you'd like to go even further, you could say that y equals 18 over 8, which is 9 over 4, minus x. And you could totally plug that in here to find what your x and y are equals to. But you see how that's taking me kind of a long time to get to that process. And it's going to involve some kind of a quadratic situation here that I probably don't want to deal with. You could still solve the problem this way, but who wants to deal with that? Because my goal is to get 2x minus 2y, so it feels like I'm sort of far removed from the goal here. In case you're curious what the expansion would look like, this would allow us to solve for x. But notice how we really don't even need to solve for x at all. So this process gets us to the correct answer, but it's not time efficient. And it also leaves leaves lots of room, many opportunities. For you to make mistakes and calculation errors along the way. So try to keep the solution methods as simple as possible on the SAT. That really is the goal. And you'll have your most success. You'll be less stressed, you'll finish the questions quicker, and you'll make less mistakes. Doesn't that just sound better for success? All right, I think that's enough blab out of me on how to do this problem. I'll see you guys next time for another SAT Quick Math.